Originally, I was going to make a bunch of videos about autism and the different things that I experience, especially with my late diagnosis. But I got too insecure thinking that nobody's going to care to listen to me talk about my life. But after today, I really want to make a video to talk about friendship because I am very bad at friendship. I am bad at giving friendship and I am bad at receiving friendship. Since I was young, I have always been unimportant and felt like I was more important. That my lack of significance and other people's inability to realize my value made me more valuable, which is truly a handicap on my part because I got to thinking that I have so much to give people that people don't deserve me. But I don't give the right stuff because I don't have the right stuff to give. I'm not a good listener. I very much struggle at being happy for other people. I don't even know how to do that. When someone puts me in a situation where I'm supposed to express that I'm happy for them, I don't know what to say. I have to search through the filing cabinet in my head and think of something on a TV show that I saw that would seem like it would be appropriate to say because it doesn't register. And I know that's cruel. Like, how could I not be happy for my friends? But I hate change so much. Change to me is catastrophic, no matter if it's good or bad. And I think the idea is they're happy about something. So that means something's going to change. So I don't know how to be excited with them because I don't know how to be excited about change. Even if it's a good change. Even if they're like, I just found the cure for every illness I've ever had and I'm going to live 100 years and I'm happy about it. I literally cannot conceptualize being happy about change or being happy or change. All of those things together is a big no for me. So all my life I think that I'm a better friend to everybody than they are to me because I have been habitually abandoned. I'm not talking about, you have friends and you grow apart over the years. I'm talking about the fact that people have blocked me. People have ignored me for literally half of a decade. And I can't get through to them. And they won't tell me why. So then I can't grow. Nobody grows from this situation. But as the internet has told us, it's okay to ghost people because you don't owe anybody your time, right? So nobody owes me an explanation, but I sit here thinking for half a decade, where did I go wrong? I read messages over again trying to figure out what I did, where it went wrong, and it always comes back to the fact that it's just me. There is no individual component. It's just me being bad at being a friend. So I'm bad at giving friendship because I can't be happy for other people. No matter how hard I try, it's always insincere. And I'm a bad listener. It's really a struggle for me to be able to take in a large piece of information and respond to it without just immediately telling a story that I have in my brain that relates to it. Which is okay sometimes, but that should not always be how conversations go. And I've learned that from television, that's an okay way to conversate sometimes, but not always. And so I have tried to relearn conversation, and I have practiced with friends that are more understanding with me and my inabilities socially. I have practiced, especially with online friendships, because you get to erase. Having a full conversation where I don't reply talking about myself. It's so hard. And it's not because I'm selfish, I just can't relate to other people. So if someone tells me a story, I think of something I know or I did, and that's how I'm going to relate. I don't know how to relate to them by their own story. Okay, so that's how I'm bad at being a friend, is that I have less to give than I thought I did. And I'm bad at receiving friendship because I assume that everyone hates me. Because many people have hated me. I have had my friends tell me that if I'm really as depressed as I think I am, I should kill myself. But I've forgiven them because I want friends so damn bad that I don't really care what you say to me. I've forgiven people for, literally causing me to have an eating disorder for 10 years. Because I just want so badly to have a constant person in my life. I don't care if they're mean to me. And so whenever I have a good friend and they want to actually spend time with me and they invite me to do something, and not only that, like, they don't see the whole not driving thing as an inconvenience, or, at least they're really good about it. They don't make it a big deal. I don't know how to be grateful for that because I don't feel as though I deserve it. So when I spend time with my good friends, the friends that I have that I know are actually interested in reciprocating my friendship, I always feel bad because I feel like this is the time where I have less to give than you do for me. And that they have better things to do than talk to me because I tell a lot of the same stories. I'm a little bit repetitive. I go on tangents and I talk a lot. And I always feel like, well, the 3 hours they just spent with me could have been better spent doing literally anything else. And this comes from very deeply rooted because I do remember every friendship I've ever had. And it's been this way forever, since preschool. Ever since the beginning of when I was around other people my age. It's always been an inconsistent power battle. And there shouldn't be a power battle in friendship, but I didn't know that either. So, I guess it feels to me as though friendship is borrowing something. I am borrowing your time, and I have to give it back. So, once it's gone, I can't really give you back that exact 3 hours. I have to give back something. And it's really hard for me to think that people don't keep tabs, because I do. And it's hard for me to think that my friends don't see it the way I do, where they say, well, I hung out with Angel this day, this day, this day, and Angel has only done this for me, and then it's uneven. But I constantly feel as though my friendships aren't even because I can never give back what people give me. I don't have it to offer. I am lackluster. So, I was taught how to borrow when I was in first grade. I had a friend who was 4 years older than me, and she had a stuffed dog that I really liked. And I don't even know why I liked it, because typically I thought my own toys were way better than everyone else's, but something about that toy dog was really significant to me. And so my mom taught me what borrowing meant. She suggested that my friend let me borrow it, and that I'd have to give it back after a week, and my mom talked to her mom, and I was allowed to borrow it, and I played with it, and I didn't want to give it back, and being an only child, I never really had to share anything. So my mom did buy me a very similar looking dog, which became my favorite dog for a while. But the way that friendship has always felt to me felt actually pretty similar to the week of borrowing, where I had this treasure that was not mine, and it could not permanently be mine, and I had to give it back. So I overdid it. I spent every minute of that week playing with this toy dog, even though I wasn't much of a playing child. I really didn't know how to play, but I took the dog everywhere with me because I knew eventually it would be over and that it would no longer be mine. And that is how I perceive friendship, is that I always have to overdo everything. I have to give my whole self. I have to always be so overwhelmingly honest and over the top in my friendships, because I'm going to have to give them back. I'm going to have to say goodbye to people, because honestly, I feel like there is nothing more inevitable for me than a goodbye. And I oftentimes don't even get the goodbye because people just leave. And it's because I'm exhausting. I talk too much. I can't give good feedback. And I can't be there for people the way that they're there for me, because I just don't have it. And I physically can't be there for people because I can't drive, so it's not like at 12 in the morning, if one of my friends is having a breakdown, I can show up at their house with McDonald's. I'm never going to be able to do that for someone the way that has been done for me. And so I just know that eventually every single one of my friends is going to move away, or leave in some way. Some part of our friendship will become so unrecognizable to me that I won't be able to relate to it anymore. So I have always just felt like I was borrowing people and borrowing their time. And that is why I think now that I'm 25, I love being alone, because I don't have to worry about who I'm giving back. I don't have to think about what person I have to say goodbye to tomorrow, or how the moments that I'm spending with someone today are going to be one more thing that I have to mourn. Because I have friends that I spent every day with who will never even say hi to me because it's too much of a burden. And I'm not trying to really throw on a pity party, because I'm telling you that this problem is both me and them. It's my inability and their inability combined. It is not just solely the fact that people don't care about me. It's the fact that people don't know how to care about me, and I don't know how to make them care. Because if being myself wasn't enough, I tried to be other people. That wasn't enough. That wasn't good. Being other people didn't work. Being myself didn't work. So I'm out of options. And here I'm 25, and I do have some good friends, but I have like hundreds of friendships that I constantly have to mourn because they're either over completely or they're inaccessible in one way or another. You know, friends that I have to block to protect myself, people who have blocked me to protect themselves from whatever I did. And at the end of the day, all I want is somebody to play Uno with me. And the irony is that Uno means one, and I'm always by myself. But since I was a kid, card games were how I friendshipped. My best friends when I was in elementary school were my great aunts. They were, little old ladies. We played Rummy Cub, War, and Uno all the time, and they let me win. And I always felt like the day that I finally had real friends, we would play Uno. And here I am, 25. And I think my friends would play Uno with me. But at the end of the day, I'd have to give the cards back because I'm only borrowing these people. I don't think anyone is really here to stay. And I think that, okay, well, this is true for everybody. Everybody's friendships are not permanent. There's no way to be a permanent friend. But to me, I know that it's so much more likely that these people are just not going to be there. And I think every time in my life where I have made a new friend, I have met someone and it just felt like it's going to change my life. This is going to be the Uno friend. This is going to be the friend that plays Monopoly with me. This is going to be the person that, understands what it's like to randomly think about Zoo Tycoon. And I get that person and I just want to squish them. Make them mine so that the week that I'm borrowing them lasts longer. So I have someone to play Uno with. And I can't play Uno by myself. Tried. So after today, I went to Pittsburgh Pride by myself. I never do anything by myself since I can't drive, but I got a ride. And I'm looking at all these people who are with their friends, people who are with their significant others, and they all have someone to play Uno with, or whatever their favorite game is. They can pick up their phone and text someone and say, "You want to play Uno?" And someone's going to reply. And the plans will probably happen within the immediate future. But for me, when I have to plan Uno, I got to plan like 6 months ahead because people can't make themselves available for me. And that's okay because we're all busy. But I wish I did have an Uno friend in my phone that I knew would be there. And I think that is probably the single hardest part of being autistic, is that my inability to be a good friend and to receive good friendships has put me in this place where I can't rely on friendship. So I've alienated myself. So I go to Pride alone and I see all these people who look happy for the day. They're probably not actually happy, but it's a good day for them. They're at Pride. But I can't relate to that because I don't have that sense of comfort, of consistency that I crave. I don't have anyone to play Uno with this week, at least. And my friends who are good friends and who are there for me, I know that they're my Uno friends when they can be. But I miss the time in my life when I didn't know it was going to always be this hard to connect to people. My own shortcomings really hit me in the face. And I love my friends. They are better to me than I deserve a lot of the time because I'm a burden. But I do wish that I wish I could be less of a person sometimes so that I could have an easier access to the Uno friends. And it didn't have to be a big deal. It could just be Uno. But instead, it's Uno and therapy. And that is probably why I'm better alone. And I've accepted it. Except for days like today, when I see thousands of people who didn't have to accept it because they have an easier time knowing when it's their turn to speak.